Hello, can everybody hear me here? Let me know who's in chat. The microphone is working fine, but yeah, it's my first live stream. And yeah, if you want to join along, just pop in a comment. We'll get this conversation started. Hopefully, it's a little bit more relaxed because I was wanting to do this on my mobile, but you have to do it. You have to wait 24 hours before you do your first live stream. So I'm just doing it on the laptop right now. But I just thought I've got a whiskey here. It's a Sunday night. It's the October holidays. So yeah. If you wanted to join along, just join along. But we'll talk about everything and anything. We'll talk about burpees. We'll talk about what's on your mind. Just let me know. So don't be afraid. Just put a comment in. It's my first live stream, so it'll be good if everybody can kind of chip in and just see where you are, even if it's any my subs that are here. Just let me know. I'm gonna wait for the chat and just see if anything springs up. So it's a cold night here in Scotland. I've got the laptop right next to the window here, so I've got everything in plain view, but it's really dim outside. But let's see how this goes. Right, but anyway, when I take the first sip, it's just Scotch blended whiskey I've got here, straight on the rocks. Take a sip first. So I might as well start with, I'll start with an introduction of myself. I started my channel. It was last year, but mainly the content I put out was things that was just for private viewing. I never thought anybody would watch any of my stuff. I looked at any of my stuff, but yeah, it came to a point where I was like, I did burpees for so many years, and it was always me doing reps and doing different burpees was something that I always did. I just never hit record. But as soon as I thought, right, I can see everybody else doing their own YouTube channels, doing their own routines, I'm thinking, you know what, put my hat in the ring, see where I can go with this. And yeah, it came to a point, it was earlier last year that I decided to pursue this. I had no idea what to do, anything, whether it regards to your YouTube channel. I would normally lean my phone right next to something. It was like either it was a pile of books or clothing or something like that, and I would just hit record. But mainly my first few videos, and I put them private because I don't even like my performances in them. It was just at that time in my life I thought, you know what, just give this a go. It's going to be really rough, but yeah, and I did them, and I thought, you know what, looking back at some of those videos that I made back earlier last year, I didn't like my performances in them, and I always thought, you know what, because I never used to perform in front of a mirror, I never really used to see my form, and I thought, I really need to improve this. It would not just help how I do my reps. I've seen the difference in my body since I've watched my videos back, and since I've had to change a lot of my routines. I've seen changes in my body, and it's great because sometimes you need that little bit of somebody to shine a light on you, and it might hurt your ego, it might hurt your pride, but that's how you get stronger mentally. And I thought, you know what, I just keep running with this, seeing where it goes and that. And I remember the first video that I did, it was just off the cuff. I was like, you know what, I'm going to see if I can just do 100 Navy SEALs, see what it's like. I've not done that before in that just range, just 100 in one go. And it was it was hard. It was awful. But I remember I got a few comments back from that video, and it was just I just lined up in the garage where it was a bit of a slant, and I was so conscious of how I wanted people to see my chest touching the ground and me doing the reps properly. And yeah, I got a lot of. I remember I got a few likes for that one. I thought, you know what, I'm on to something here. And the first couple of videos I did was in that garage, and that was something else, doing workouts in that garage, because by the time it got to winter, it was absolutely Baltic in there. The temperature dropped. I could, even though I would be wearing my trainers, my toes would go numb inside there, and I was like, I can't do this. It's just not working out. So for quite a while, I had to just change my location, and it was quite a hindrance to do that, because I felt like I was in that zone where I could just keep going and doing different routines and testing myself. But yeah, I had to change, and for a couple of months, I kind of fell out of love with making videos, to be honest with you, and I had to get back to that again, and I feel like I've gotten back, not 100%, but I am getting back to that stage now. But I'll look at the comments I got. Chid, good evening, brother. It's good. Tony, what is it that set you on the burpee route? I think I just answered that. What set me on it, Tony, was I've always been doing burpees, but my original burpee, I said this in a podcast last year, my original burpee that I always did was a press up and a tuck jump, and that counts as one repetition. And that was something I always did for years. So even before things like Iron Wolf, and I'm not blowing smoke up my backside, but I've been doing burpees for, I think it was since 2010. Yeah, so it's a lot of hard work, but that was my particular burpee. I always used to see people clap their hands above their head or do different things. There were so many different types of burpees, but that was my specific burpee, a press up and then to do a tuck jump. And believe it or not, if you do burpees like that, it's so cardiovascular based. Before long, if you do 10, 15, 20 of those burpees in a row, your heart will beat like that, beating, and it's something else. It's a total workout, to do it like that. And a lot of the times my earlier routines were, I didn't even know what Tabata style training was. I just was like, right, get a timer, 30 seconds on, 30 off, and I'll be like, how many reps can I do in 30 seconds, and I'll have a rest. And I would just play with that idea. But that was something I used to do, and I didn't have a name for it. I just did it because I knew it worked for me personally. It makes you lose visceral fat very fast doing things that way. Even doing things like a tuck jump, it's so much harder if you're trying to just jump and then land as softly as possible. Even if it's like a cat, just land as softly as possible. It takes so much more energy, so much more calories get burned by just trying to do it that way. But it improves so much more of you can, from just doing those two movements, a press up and a tuck jump, improves anything else. It could, whether it's the lunges, whether it's just walking correctly outside, improves your posture, because you get one wrong move in that movement. I think it was 2 or 3 times out of those 10 plus years that I've been doing it, but only 2 or 3 times that I ever got injured doing burpees, and out of all those years, and I would do burpees every week. That was because the times I do remember when I got injured was I was taking my eye off form, and I was just trying to get reps as quickly as possible out in a short space of time. And before you know it, your body catches up with you and it can't. And that's when injury entails. So, but yeah, hopefully that answered your question, Tony. Fire another one if you want. Okay, Tim Effect, how have you been doing, James? Good to see you again, bro. Yep, it's good seeing you again, Tim. I can always see that you're hitting out the reps with your team. Yeah, I've been watching. I haven't been commenting, but I have been watching you, brother. But yeah, I thought I would share that. But it's something that I look to improve all the time, and it's like my recent videos with the James Bruce burpee. I feel like I can take this up to another notch, but I need to make sure that I'm hydrating myself properly, 1, and then 2, I've got to remember to stretch, because a lot of the times I'm just not stretching enough. And because it's a full body exercise is taking out so much energy out of my body. But yeah, hopefully I will get another video out very soon. It'll be in the next couple of days. But if there's any videos that you want me to see specifically, yeah, I'll get onto it. I will. I always try and do them unbroken as well, just for that added effect, because I don't like standing about and like doing this little little baby step jog on a spot. I don't do that stuff. For if I'm gonna not do a movement, I don't do that. I just maybe pace back and forth and then get back into the reps again. But aye, so anybody in the chat, if you've got a drink, if you did bring a drink tonight, let me know what you've got in the chat. Yeah, feel free to comment. Feel free to ask anything that you want. Yeah, it's almost like because it's my first live stream, I'm waiting for a troll or something to come out, but you know. But yeah, how's everybody doing this Sunday? It's like I said, it's really cold here in Scotland, but you just got to get on with it. You need to get the reps in. If you go out and do your running, make sure that you're properly got the proper attire and that you're warmed up, because I'm going to have to start doing that soon, because obviously my muscles are feeling it a lot more now. Yeah, so see, we're 12 minutes in. 3 likes. It's good. 3 likes. It's not all hatred. But yeah, like I'm wanting my aim for this is for my channel to take it as far as possible, not in terms of like subs, because I don't think I'm going to get that far, but just like what I can actually do and achieve on video, because I think with my channel, I don't see a lot of other people doing stuff that I do, and you know what, I need to keep pushing myself. I need to see where I can take it. I think a lot of people were waiting for me to do 500 pumps, but I think when I do eventually do that, I'll do it in like an 8 count, because it keeps my brain ticking over. That's why I felt when I was doing when I got my unofficial record for the 6 count burpees, when I got it, I think it was 27 minutes 42. Just the fact that I was counting it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 1. My brain keeps ticking over, and it's almost like your body can just go into that autopilot mode, and you can just bash it out as quickly as possible. So I feel like if I'm going to do the 2 pumps, I will be counting it out, and yeah, I think it's definitely achievable to do 500 unbroken. Yeah, because I'd want the record. I definitely want the record for that. But a couple of times, especially for the first few times that I did, because I tried 500 8 counts. I did try that, and I remember trying 500. I've done it a few times. 500 6 counts. Yeah, the 8 count bodybuilders, when I did them, because I did that, and I was really wanting the record for that, and I think I've still got it, but I would have to revisit the video, because back then when I was doing the burpees, I was just planting my hands. I always kind of get my fingertips touch the floor first before I put my hands down, and I've had to rectify it. So with all those earlier videos that I did the 500, I would have to revisit it again, because I think you get a lot of very tasty comments about people if you're not doing the reps 100% like they want to. But yeah, I think I'll revisit them again. But yeah, we'll keep it going. Anybody in the chat? Don't leave me hanging. Put a comment in. If the missus is in as well, you can put a comment in. Might as well. What's that, Tim? What are you saying? Have you been training, James? Have I been training? What are you trying to say, Tim? You saying that I've not been training? You think I've not been training? Have I been training? I have been training. I put in the videos, but it's normally with my my personal burpee that I've been doing, everything, Tim. I can still see you're banging out the reps just as much as you were before. How's everybody else's training been going? Tony, if you're still here, what have you been training at all? Have you been too busy, or same with you, Chib? But it's one of those Sunday nights I thought, you know what, just have a relaxed time, get a drink in, a whiskey, and if you want to join along. So hopefully other people can get there. Yes, indeed, Tim. The grind never stops. Every day you've got to do something. It never stops. It's an ongoing journey that you've got to go through, and you know what? It's the rep. Don't count reps, make reps count, and that mantra I feel like you can put into anything, even food. Don't count calories, make calories count. So you know if you've got a lot of calories in, you can expend a lot of energy out. You know, as long as it's the right calories and you're not just sitting on the toilet this whole time, you know. But, you know, make everything count for you. Make it, you know, be positive about things in life as well. Try and get to that next level, you know. I know in this day and age it's quite hard for people to see the positive sides with things, but only you can do it yourself. That's you, not anybody else. No one else owes you anything. You've got to put out for yourself. So just like even with this, like I'm not, you know, we're 17 minutes in. I'm not comfortable doing things like this, but I thought, you know what, just put it out there. It might be an absolute dud, but you know what, I tried it. So just here in the bedroom, I've obviously cleaned the sweat all off the floor, but like every single time I'm in here, I close the blinds, I do the workout, and it's the temperature gauge is on the side of the wall there, and you just look at it and it just goes up and up and up, and it only takes a couple of minutes because my training naturally I keep it to about 20 minutes a workout. I try and instead of making everything expand out, like how much can you do in an hour and stuff like that, my training methods are condense it all into one and make it as hard as possible. See where you can put it, you know, because that to me is total training. 20 minutes, you're in there, you're making the rest periods as short as possible, or if you need that little bit of rest, absolutely fine, but try and push it within that condensed time, because 20 minutes to me is what you need. Anything else, about 30 minutes is absolutely fine, but 20 minutes is what I prefer, really. Oh. Hello, Derek. How's it going from across the pond? Seeing you just uploaded something as well today. Yep, we've got 7 people in, 19 minutes in here. I didn't think this was actually going to work because I thought I could just stream it on my phone, but obviously you have like a 24-hour timer until you can do it. It's like with all this stuff. I've not used any of this stuff before, but I thought, you know what, just crack it on, see if it works with the laptop. I've got everything. I've got the cable here in case it all shortens out. But yeah, the main thing tonight was just see if I can get this going. I'm not sure what the picture quality. If somebody can tell me what the picture quality like is for you, because here it doesn't look too great, but it looks manageable. That's the main thing. All right, we've got Derek Lee. Long sessions are good. However, once you start adding other forms of training, then you have to scale back. Yes, that is true. I don't know about anybody else, but when it comes to workouts, if you're going to do a particular workout, stick to 4 to 6 exercises in that workout, if that, and just focus on form. Yeah, because the moment you start adding too much into it, it becomes just a mathematical quest just to get something done. And sometimes the basics is what you need to get that all condensed into one. So yeah, keep things basic, but harness your skills with whatever repetition of a certain type of exercise that you're doing. Yeah. Tim, yeah, you always motivate me. I'm 66, gotten some. You're 66. I'm 66, gotten some lip space since Achilles injury, getting back into it slowly, bro. Ah, that is fine, Tim. I never knew that. 66 years old. That's got my respect there, buddy. That's one person that I always used to watch was Tim, just because his workouts were, you would just pop up, and whether it will be a 3-minute video or an hour-long video, he's always got something different. But 66 years old, Tim. Thank you. Yeah, but yeah, there was a little bit of a mix-up, Derek, with Jib, but we're getting back into it. I will eventually do something with him, just because I had to set up with StreamYard, and to be honest with you, it's a pile of shit. All this stuff put all together. I'd prefer to see them in person, but obviously right now, just doing it on a live stream collabing is all you can really do. So, but we will get something sorted. It's just being here. There's some things that just life catches up on you, and you've got things that just happen, so you have to change your schedules about. But we'll get it done. We'll get it done with the Dutch Destroyer. Yeah, Lee, if you're training weights, then the onus moves to intensity as opposed to duration reps. Yeah, indeed. But as you know, Lee, I don't really do stuff with weights. I mainly, it's body weight, or if you can call it calisthenics. I sometimes, even if I'm going to do like a V-sit or do the leg raises, I'll just go into the kitchen and on the counter, put your arms on the side and just lift your body up, obviously, and just start lifting your legs up. And I'll do that in a set. So I'm always trying to be as, always trying to use the environment around me. I've never really liked doing weights, but yeah, I used to love doing like the heavy front row squats. I used to love doing them just to build my legs. It was great, and you can get a really good burn off of them. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well, Derek. The collab's going to be great. Yeah, it's just great to train with anybody. If anybody wants to train, it's absolutely fantastic. The fact that anybody wants to train with me is great. I've seen those pink dumbbells. Aye, the wee pink ones. I've seen. Yeah, mainly that was my. What did we get them for? I think it was my sister's dumbbells. She had them in the past, and I just kept them for if I was going to do like boxing jabs, because I'm not going to pick up like 8 kilo ones and just keep doing them. So if it's a slightly easier weight, I'm just going to do that for like 45 seconds, and I think that's more of like an active rest for me, I feel. So yeah, and that's one thing I used to do with weights, was I would do like the boxing jabs, or like just anything. Just to me it's more like an active rest, but I really enjoyed things like that, adding that to burpees or whatever you're doing, press ups, and like things that I like to do as well. I should really put it in a video, but when I'm not recording, I do things like pulse jumping lunges. I don't know if anybody does them, but so you'll be in the lunge position in the negative, and you'll just 1, 2, 3 in that position, then jump into the next 1, 2, 3, and then jump back again. And after a couple of seconds, that is absolutely brutal on your legs. Yeah. Obviously, it's all like with me, especially because another one that I would do would be the jump squat and then do 2 jumping lunges. I would do that. I just haven't recorded doing anything like that, but that is a serious conditioning exercise. So, indeed, it is. It's all coming out now. Hey, I've got no problems with that coming out, Lee. No, I wouldn't actually. No, I wouldn't do that shadow boxing and weights in the gym. Jesus Christ, Lee. No chance. Never do that. Do that in the garage where no one can see you. Aye. No, I'm normally that guy that's in the gym. The only reason I would have like a gym pass before, and I still do now, is just to use the treadmill, because it gets so bad here, the weather, and I'm not slipping to my death outside, especially when it gets frosty here. So I'll be using the gym for the treadmill, because you need to get back into the running. As long as I'm good at running, burpees, and you can do pull-ups, it's absolutely fine to me. That's all you need. Good evening, Simon. How's it going? Yeah, I just seen your video as well, Simon. That was pretty cool. Was that in your bedroom? What's everybody drinking tonight? Obviously, I've got my whiskey here. I knew somebody was going to say water. Get your 8 litres in a day. Yeah, but we're 26 minutes in. At least there's a few people here. That's decent. Oh, Birdie Shake, good stuff. Who's into that protein shakes? Because I get into these points where I try and go through a duration of drinking them, but to me it hurts my stomach a little bit too much. So I prefer just food, and you can't beat that. Rather than, to me, soya protein and things like that. Every so often, if I'm rushed for time, or for whatever reason, and I've got a shake and that, and I've got my own product, but I prefer in the long run just to eat meals, because when I'm like doing an exercise, I don't want to gas out too quickly. I want to be able to, you know what I mean? I want to be able to work to the highest of my ability. So I find that when I'm actually doing a workout, actual food is better. Protein shakes for me hurt my stomach. It's like if I eat too much like eggs, that kind of thing, it just doesn't work for my body type. My body type prefers things like um, uh, just stuff like actual food. So just getting that. Who was that? Jess. Oh, I've had to delete him. Jesus. Oh, weirdo. Well, it's up early for work. Aye, Tony. No worries. No worries. Hopefully you're keeping up with the family. Some green fruit. Yep, exactly, Derek. Some green fruit indeed. I probably should be eating more, but what's everybody's favourite green to have for in their meal? Like with me, I just prefer something that's so versatile that can go in pretty much anything is spinach. So spinach is a good one for me. It's cheap. You can just get it for £1 here, £1, and it lasts as long as you don't make it so cold that it wilts the actual leaves. It's a great thing to put with your food, and it's tasty as well. You can cook it. So spinach and broccoli, yeah. Spinach and broccoli is a good one. I used to eat broccoli all the time. I'm surprised because even when I was younger, everyone was like, I don't like broccoli, or broccoli was. I remember years ago, especially like in the 90s, if you wanted to like, it was the form of torture for a child was to give them broccoli. I used to love the stuff, broccoli, as long as you cook it properly. Yep, Manda, I have a question. Go on, I'll answer it. Rocket, yeah, rocket's alright. Normally, you have to like if you're going to get it in a packet, it comes with other things. But rocket, yeah, rocket's all right. All of the green family, yeah, anything. It makes, obviously, with, for instance, something like spinach, it's an incomplete protein. So if you add that to, for instance, if you have something like salmon, or if you have chicken, it makes it a complete protein together. So something like spinach, chicken, rice, that goes really well. I find that. But with me, I've got like an Asian background, so I've been eating rice, especially white rice, all my life. Don't ever come to me with brown rice, but white rice, and it's something that settles my stomach, and it just works really well for my digestion. So yeah, white rice is something. But I know a lot of people cannot tolerate things like that. It's like things like bread, starches. They can't tolerate them. So no kale. Yeah, I don't know how many times I bought kale and just couldn't stomach it. The taste of it just doesn't work for me. Am I a former soldier? No, but I'm an army brat. I was brought up around my family, and most of my family were in the army, so we were around barracks all the time when I was younger. I think a lot of people ask that question. So no, I'm not in the army. I'm not serving military, but my family in the army. So yeah, that's to answer that question. Did you have a question, Amanda? No, you didn't. Oh wait. All right, I get it. Oh my god. How did you increase? Who is that person? Obviously, it's the same person that's making multiple accounts or something, because they're doing it over and over and over again. Jesus, the joys of YouTube, where you get somebody, and these people must be so sad, really sad. You know, I bet you they live in their boxers or whatever gender they are, live in their boxers and cannot do anything with their life. So they just go into other people's things and just try and destroy it. God, I really hope their parents love them, because no one else does. It's really sad. But I'm going to do something to that person. Yeah, right now I'm going to leave them alone, just like their parents did. But, right. Okay, we've got a proper question here. How did you increase your burpees rep to go above 100 per workout? Like, did you increase it every month or everything? Well, yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah, it was only until I started making videos that I started doing more than 100. Because before then, I wouldn't count reps, really. I would just be like, right, for a workout, I'm going to do 10 sets of 10, like that. But it would take like 30 minutes. But I'd obviously have like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and I'd do something like that. But yeah, it was only until I started doing videos that I was like, right, just try and push it. And believe me, if you watch any of my earlier content, it's the stuff that doesn't have thumbnails. I don't think I've put thumbnails on it. I honestly, back then, I couldn't be bothered with thumbnails. I was just like, right, just put it out there. And if anybody likes my stuff, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, it was only until I started putting videos out that I started doing the bigger repetitions. And I don't know if anybody can convince me otherwise, but I don't know why you need to do 500 in a row. I don't know what that actually does, apart from improve your endurance. But doing 500 burpees in a row, I can imagine. Like when I did it, I felt fatigued, immensely fatigued, but I didn't feel a burn in my arms at all. So yeah, but right with Matty, yeah, wait, how's it? Is it you defy gravity when doing burpees? Yeah, well, I just try it. It's my style, Matt. It's my style. I like doing burpees like that. I think we've all got our own style, including yourself. Everyone does their own burpees, and it's great to see everyone's styles. Everyone that I'm sure not everyone likes everyone's styles, but we all do it. So it's good to add your own little flavour to the community. Yeah, keep firing up the questions. Really? To start making you do plyometrics? It's cool. Really humble to hear you say that. It's great. I mean, listen. I just had a tea towel down, and I'd be like, right, what can I do today? Well, I can do a jump squat back and forth over the tea towel. That's something else. Yeah, so that's something that I used to like doing. I think I did a couple of videos like that where I would do like a 2 pump and then do a jump squat back and forth. So it's 2 jump squats, and then that counts as 1 rep, and you just do that over and over for 100. And I really enjoyed those workouts, because it's normally that idea would just come in my head just like that, and you just start doing it. So yeah, that was something else. Lawson, I don't think I've seen your comment in any of my my videos. Tell me if I'm wrong, but right, what's that, Tim? I think it all about PRS. Yep, it could be. Keep firing the questions. Keep firing the questions. Silent follower, indeed. Yeah, it's all right. If you don't actually have to comment, a lot of people just don't, and that's absolutely fine. Ever done PEDs? No, but it's what's everyone's take on, because I mentioned it a wee bit earlier, obviously, but what's everyone's take on protein shakes? Do you take protein shakes at all? Because I recently have stopped taking protein shakes and I feel 10 times better for my performance, absolutely better. But saying that, I've increased my my tuna consumption and any other seafood that can fill that need. So I love my prawns, tuna, mussels, and that kind of thing, salmon. So I've increased my intake of seafood and I've taken out my protein shakes and I feel so much more better. Also gives you a better glow. Wait a minute, wait, we've got two more. Sorry for Amanda O behaviour. I know them. They are 86. Okay. Can I have a shout out? It's my two sisters' birthday, Jessica and Holly. Could you say happy birthday? Well, if that is true, Richard, well, they're a bit of a twat for doing that, to be honest with you. But it's good that they're 86. Hopefully they stay 86. But your two sisters, Jessica and Holly, well, happy birthday to both of them. What's how old are they? I'm guessing that they're twins. Okay, what's this next one? Oh, I'm kind of stuck at 100 now for a while, but I don't know if it's how I'm eating. I can't really diet well because the cost of living is high. All right, are you from the UK? I only do the plant-based protein. Okay, that's fine. All-based make me bloated, and so that's exactly the same as me. Anything, especially with the soya protein, I don't know what it is. If you look in the back of a packet and you see, and this is common knowledge to any video or anything that you will see anywhere. If you look in the back of a packet and you cannot pronounce the ingredients, you shouldn't be taking it. And a lot of that is just lab-based ingredients. And you know what? Maybe there's a reason why it's hurting your stomach. So let me know what you think. Is running part of your current training routine? Yeah, Simon, it is when I do go to the gym. Because when I get to the gym, I always run on the treadmill. I love it. It's great. It's like mindfulness. That's my version anyway. Going on the treadmill, sticking your headphones in, get your tunes on, and just go for it. Whatever training program you've got. Recently, I don't know if you do the same, Simon, but I try and do the Royal Marines run fitness test. So that's I think it's you have to get 2.5 kilometers in 12 minutes, something like that, and I can only get 2.5 or just over 2.5 kilometers in 10. So yeah, I've hit a bit of a bridge there where it's kind of a plateau, but seriously, you would have to change your diet or just change the structure of your training to get a higher level of that. But that's where I'm at right now, is just to get just over 2.5 kilometers in 10 minutes. So don't know what's yours like, Simon, if you do go to the gym. Oh, you're from Jamaica. All right, okay. Cost of living's high here as well. It's absolutely ridiculous, but you have to make sacrifices. So yeah, they are 17 and they like your channel. I've got to go now, so have a good night. Yeah, thank you, Richard. Yeah, well, happy birthday to Jessica and Holly, 17 years old. Oh, yeah, but it's great the support. So Richard, take care. Yeah, but like I said to you, I'm not taking protein shakes anymore. I prefer, especially when I'm at work, because I thought before it's like you get told we're this day and age now where it's an afterthought to eat a meal, so they have things that are just ready for you just to eat on the quickness. So a protein shake is great for that, and I would do that a couple of times at work. And if I was wanting to train after work, my stomach was just sore. So yeah, that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, especially with right now, I just prefer like actual food. So, all right, okay, ah, that's fine. Yeah, yeah, Simon. Yeah, love it. Completely agree. Running is complete tunnel vision. Yeah, it's something else when you just get into the mode, and because that's how I started. Because I was like, right, do the treadmill. I used to love doing treadmill all the time, and that's what led me to do my half marathons. I used to love doing that. Just the feeling you get, the elation, and I would just do it for myself, really. So I would go to these half marathons, and I wouldn't have like a charity shirt or anything like that. I just want to test myself, and it was those experiences that I had were eye opening for me. And you would get to a point in it where it's like, because I remember the second one that I did, second half marathon I did, it was extremely hot. It was in August, and I had injured my hamstring. I think I pulled it up on the treadmill because I did. My training was just treadmill training for the half marathon that I did, and I pulled my hamstring. This was, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks before the actual half marathon, and it was just niggling me the whole time until the day of the half marathon. And I would get to, I don't know, it must have been psychological because I would get to 20 minutes on the treadmill and I would actually feel like a tinge in it, and I'm like, oh, and I'd have to stop. But then it came to a point where, I mean, especially with the half marathon, because I was like, can I actually do this? I won't get to everyone else's comments. Let me finish this first. But I got to a point where I was like, could I actually do this? Because I was more frightened that I was going to stop. And the walk of shame walking back home while everyone else is going forward, because there was about 4,000 people doing it that time that I did it, was terrifying in my head. And I remember I got to 2 miles in the actual half marathon, and I felt that twinge, and and it just, I went through, and like you say, Simon, I just went through total tunnel vision. I was like, I am not stopping. My leg's gonna have to get cut off here because I'm gonna keep moving regardless. And it must have been psychological, mainly because once I got on from there, my body was like, well, he's just gonna keep going even if his leg falls off. And out of that, because I'm self-trained as well, I didn't train with anybody else. I did everything by myself. That half marathon, there was about 4,000 people there, and I finished 85th. And I was really proud of my performance there, even though I hated my time. Yeah, I finished 85th, was great, and I was so proud of that day. And yeah, it was great. The salt that had dried up on my face from the sweat was unbelievable when I'd finished it. And when I finished it, bish bash bosh, got my event bag, stretched for about 30 seconds, and then just walked home from there. So, yeah. What's everyone else's thoughts on running? Does anyone else doing running? Right, Gordon. Hello. Hello, Gordon. Uh, Listen, I try to cut down on meat. That's why shakes are easy supplement. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I don't actually eat a lot of said red meat, if that's what you're meaning. I eat a lot of fish. I love seafood. Seafood is something that digests in my body a lot better. So I mainly stick with that because I want to train every day. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Uh, wow. Mustard shortage. I have no clue about that at all, Gordon. Mustard? What do you put mustard on? Nothing beats a good mustard sandwich. Oh, yeah. What kind of sandwich do you like, Gordon? Because if it's mustard on me, it has to be with cheese. Cheese and mustard. I like salmon a lot, but it's really expensive where I live. Yeah, it's expensive here. And I used to, years ago, when I used to get salmon, it was a lot of time you can get like two fillets for like £4, but it depends where you get it now. You have to shop around. I signed when you were saying something about the gym, so I didn't hear fully. So sorry if there's a repetitive question. How do you split going to the gym and bodyweight workouts? Well, you know what? You go by how you feel. If I've got a thought in my head, I'm like, I want to try going to the gym today, I'll just do it. Don't let anybody else impinge on your training. Just do what you think is best for yourself. I think it was, I remember watching does everybody like the bodybuilder Ronnie Coleman? But in his prime, and this goes for the best of the elite, in his prime, he was like, I go by how I feel. I go by how I look. So if he felt a little bit lumpy on a certain body part, he would just train that one. And yeah, because I do watch a lot of the bodybuilders content on YouTube, and I find it fascinating how they all train differently to get different results. But you know what? They're all based in the gym, and the people I watch are really humble as well. So yeah, you can take little snippets from information from everybody, even with people in the burpee community. I know I don't talk a lot in it, and you know, to be honest with you, it's because I need to work on my interpersonal skills. I'm not great at interacting with an audience, especially if I don't know you. But it's like me right now. You put yourself out there, and you know what? Sometimes it lands, sometimes it just goes as a dud. But hey, yeah. So hopefully that answered your question. You know, do you split going to the gym, bodyweight workouts? Just don't have a set. Just do what you want to do. If you want to go to the gym X amount of times a week, yeah, just go and do it. Try it. Try different things. See what works. See what your body can take. But as long as you've got enough calories in, you can do both. Tony, enjoy running. Done a couple of half marathons, but normally 10Ks. Yeah, 10Ks are tough. Normally a lot more fast paced. But yeah, I used to love doing half marathons. I think, Tony, that was just due to it. You know what? The love of that was due to my dad, because my dad had, he used to have pictures in the family home of him crossing the finishing line doing half marathons. And I was like, I wonder if I could do that one day. Because I never used to train, especially when I was younger. I was one of those really sensitive kids and things like that. And it just came to a point where I was like, fuck it. I know 100% the feeling. You proved yourself and you did what you say you will do despite the freaking pain. Like they on autopilot. Yeah, you get to a point, Simon, when you're training, especially like I said, when I did the half marathon, the second one, it was just in my head for weeks. I was like, why is this pain not going away? You know, but it was almost, but the pain was there in my hamstring. It was my right, I can remember it was my right hamstring. It was like, why am I getting to 20? It was always just about 20 minutes on the dot. And then I would feel a tinge in my hamstring. And you're always told, do not, if you feel uncomfortable with a certain body part, stop. And it would always happen. And I was thinking, why is this happening? It was only until I got to that stage where I actually had to do the half marathon, do or die, get there. You either do it or you don't do it. And I got there and I was like, I'm going to push through this. And if I stop, at least if I fall over and I'm injured, that's something. But I'm not going to stop for this pain. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep going until I physically have to stop. Like my legs just stops moving. But yeah, it comes to certain points in your life where you just have to get up and get off your arse and fucking do it. You know, only you know it yourself. Nobody else knows this. Only you can do it for yourself. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. I know I ramble and I go on a tangent, so, you know. Run out of question. Please, no, don't say that. Just ask as many questions as you want. That's what I'm here for. I've got a drink to tolerate a lot of people's comments. Right, run out question. So I can't really afford gym consistently, so I am trying to weigh the pros and cons of starting it or just sticking to body weight. How does gym assist you differently than body weight? Equipment. Yeah, I can't afford a treadmill, and there's no room for a treadmill here. So that's why I've got a gym pass. I need a treadmill, and I'm not running outside, especially in Scotland. When it gets to winter time, there's frost, ice, snow. It's dangerous actually crossing junctions. A lot of people are freaking really reckless in their cars, so I'm not chancing that. And it's actually, you know what? You can be in the gym, you can get a proper workout done on the treadmill. You can get up and leave. No thrills, just get it done. Yeah, but when it comes to affording the gym, if you can't afford it, actually maybe go out for a jog. I don't know if you've got a problem with where you stay at, and if it's hard for you to do a proper run. But yeah, think out of the box. Maybe, you know, because that's what I was like. I was like, go for a run outside. If I'm not going to go into the gym, you can go. If you're close to a beach, go up sand dunes. If you're on the beach, run on the sand. You know, run up hills. There's so much different things you can do, and just test yourself. I know it's hard for a lot of people to just get out there, because once you're outside and you train, especially if I was going to do a couple of times when I did body weight training outside, I felt so self-conscious doing it, because you're outside and people just kind of watch it and stare at you, and you're like, you feel very, like, I personally, I feel really self-conscious about stuff like that, but I try to put a brave face on it, but I think I just make myself look unapproachable. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question, AP. What's it, you lose some last year in Vienna, someone died at a marathon, and many people have problems because higher than usual heat. All right, okay. Yeah, that's not unusual, people dying in marathons, and that's something else. But you know what? My heart goes up to people like that. I've seen clips of people who get to the finish line and literally their legs do not move, start shaking, collapse, and crawl to the finish line. You know what? I think, even though I've not been there personally, everyone who's a runner gets to that point where they hit a runner's wall, or their body is physically tell them, you cannot do this anymore, and you just have to get past it any way you can. Obviously, if you're on a treadmill, you've got to be running properly. You're going to fall off the thing, and you're not going to be that stupid. So, but especially with people who get to that point where they collapse at a finish line and crawl over the finish line, that's taken them years and years to get to that point. And people just think it's one foot after another, and it's just this and just that, and you've got, you know what I mean? Or if you are born from a certain country, it's just easy for you, and it's not. There's so much things that go into it, so much time, effort, so much of your nutrition, is spent on just those days where you have to train. And you've got a purpose, and every person here, especially that's in the chat, you've got your own purpose, you've got your own fitness goals in life, and no one else is going to do that for you. You've got to get there yourself. So stop listening to this white noise around you. It doesn't matter what it is. For love of God, stay away from those YouTube videos, those motivational ones. Just do what you can do in your time. And it doesn't matter how small or insignificant it is. It's your training. It's if you're training for a Tough Mudder or something like that, or you're training to be in the army or something, you know what I mean? Do what you need to do. Don't look at what other people are doing. That's just white noise. You do what you need to do. Stick to your goals. Don't let anybody take you off for your goals. And I sincerely mean that. It fucking pisses me off when I see so much people just getting led astray, and listening to white noise around them. So just stick to what you're doing. Even if you've got your own channel and it's tiny and you're like, no one's liking my stuff, just stick to it. Just stick to it. David, how's it going? Thanks for chipping in. Okay, so do you mainly go for the treadmill? Do you also bench press? No, I don't do bench press. Well, free weights, I'll do them, but I'll do them included with my body weight training, just to change it up. It's great having a little bit of variety, but I won't do that all the time just because I prefer body weight training. Yeah, but stick to a lot of pull-ups. Instead of doing something like barbells or things like that, I just stick to pull-ups. But if I was going to, my go-to for weight training, get a heavy barbell and do heavy front squats. That is so good for your legs, your quads, and your abdominals as well. I used to love doing them. All right, barbell squats. All right, okay. Yeah, do them. Yeah, they're absolutely fine. I love them. I just don't do them enough, obviously, because if I'm in the gym, first to do the treadmill. I love doing that, and that's one of the three. You need to be good at running. You have to be good at running. So, hold on, let me get rid of this person. Oh my God. Yeah, that's it. Oh, Dean, hiya, how's it going? Loving the James Bruce burpees, mate. Just curious, how did you come up with that burpee variation? Oh, that's a tough one. I actually don't know. It was when I was creating stuff for my channel last year, and I hold on. It's when I was creating videos last year. I was like, because all my content was really the same. It still is, but I was like, maybe I should put a tutorial of my own burpee, because I was thinking I can create something. And I thought, right, I'll put these two movements together and see how it was. And after I did 5 reps unbroken by themselves, it was really tough. And I thought, you know what, just stick to this. But for months I didn't do the movement just because I was focusing on other things. But yeah, I've gotten back in love with that burpee routine. I don't really see many people. I've seen Sam do it, Fitness Throstle do it. A few other people have tried it, but I think it's because it's so high intensity and because it's one of those movements, you get it wrong, you could literally bash your teeth in, or you can injure your wrists or anything else. It's that burpee, Dean, was years and years of me training to make that burpee, because me doing it for 5 reps in a set for whatever, it's taken me years to get to that point. And yeah, it's something that do not be taken lightly, but it's a serious conditioning tool. And if, like, I'm not really running right now, so doing that is like sprints to me. So when I'm outside, even that few times, because at my workplace as well, I do a little bit of running there, and it's almost like it's that mind muscle connection. My body, because I'm doing that movement, it just knows how to get into that mode, that quick start. So, and on my work, I have to be really on my toes a lot of the time. So my work's really active. So I wouldn't say I have to recommend doing burpees for my work, but it definitely helps. Okay, that answers my questions. Yeah, no problem. Fire AP. Listen, you've got any other questions? Fire away. Fire away. Absolutely no problem. If you're a troll or you're getting booted out, all right. Please, if you're a troll, just fuck off. Right. I stop bench pressing and do more press ups. Feel it's more functional. Okay, fun. 144. How about this? Have you tried the Royal Marine test, the press up test, the bleep test? Because I just started doing them in my videos a couple of months back, and they are something else. After I've done my workout, I'll do that just as a finisher. Do the Royal Marine press up test, and it is just everything starts shaking, and it's like I'm a little child again. All right, Tony, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we'll say hi to the family. I was speaking to them today, actually. Yeah, take care, bud. Oh, did you? You just about managed it. So did you get full 60 though? I'm actually enjoying this live stream so far. What are we at? 58 minutes. Yes, it's good. Any other questions? Don't even have to be burpee related or fitness related. You want to ask me, fire away. I've got no problems whatsoever. But does anybody else, who else here loves running and loves any of those fitness tests? Does anybody else like doing them? Tell you what, I'll put a question in the comment section. Well, not really a question, but hold on. Okay. Yeah, so people know. It's not just you have to ask a certain question about fitness. It could be anything. I've never done any fitness tests. Okay. Would you do any fitness tests? Or which do you recommend? Any of the Royal Marine ones. So it could be a pull-up fitness test. You've got the do the run. I think it's if you can run 2.5 kilometers in 12 minutes or just under, that is a Royal Marine fitness test. So try that on the treadmill. That's something else to do, AP. Try that. I don't know if you're into running. I saw you combine several tests, which was epic. Yeah, I think that was the. Which one was that again? That was when I did the press up and the sit up test, and I did them back to back. But I did like, I think I had like a minute rest in between each one. Yeah, that was tough. That was awful. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that. But I tell you what, it's like getting put in the washing machine and just trying to survive it. Yeah, that was something else. But but who else is in the? Who else is here tonight? And how long do you want me to go on for? Because I've got no set limit here. But if if you want me to go on for a certain amount of time, go put it in the comment section. I'm here to learn from you as well. It's great that people are asking questions, and I'm into running, so I'll try it. They could give me a new way of goal setting. Yeah, well, I'll put it in the comment here, right? It's 12 minutes. Number 2.5 minutes. So it's that 12 minutes or under, run 2.5 kilometers. I can normally get mines just get over 2.5 in 10 minutes, so I'm fine with that. How long do you need to prepare for a half marathon? Well, the first one I prepared for, it was only like 3 months. Yeah, but I was running a lot anyway, so I didn't need a lot of time to prepare. It was more to do something like a half marathon. It's that because you're going to get to a point where it's just, you can be overwhelmed by the whole experience, and you're going to have to take that in. So yeah, a lot of the time it was mentally that I had to be prepared for rather than my body, because your body can go through so much and just keep taking it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to stay with you for too long today. I'm going to play football. This is absolutely fine, AP, but thank you for asking all your questions. It's brilliant. Thank you. Try that run, that fitness test I told you about, and see where it takes you. If you can do it, great. If you can get to, I know you said something about the gym earlier, but if you can do it, that'll be fantastic. And let me know. Yeah, but it's great that you were on here. But anybody else, right, wants to ask questions, on you go. Yeah, but I think, well, when I first started the stream, I didn't really know how to start it, but I told my backstory and how I started my channel, and I think I'll do that again. It was just a case of me. I've been doing burpees, doing workouts for years, and I just felt one day, especially at the start of last year, but I was in between jobs, fucking depressing. But I was like, you know what? Just hit record and see what my form looks like. And the first couple of times I did it, I was like, oh my God, do I look like that? You do workouts and you're like, bloody hell, man, I thought I looked all right. But I was like, I have to improve my form. I have to do all this. And it was a major wake-up call for me. But yeah, that's when it was start of last year. And I thought all those videos I did, they're private because I don't like them at all. But I thought, just stick with this and see where it goes. I thought I was onto something, to be honest with you. And it's great that anybody even dares to watch my stuff because, you know what I mean? I'm just one guy in Scotland that does this. And I want anybody watching right now, I want to be the best burpee practitioner in Scotland. I want that dialogue. I want that set for me. I'm the best here in Scotland. Nobody else is better than me when it comes to routines. I'm the best, but I want to be known as that. But yeah, I just thought last year, right, see where I can go with this, see what I can do. At the time, I had a garage, and I was like, yeah, just go in there, put the lights on and see what I can do. And a lot of time when I started my videos, I would have to there was a lot of insects that were in there. I'd have to sweep them all out first. And a couple of times when I would do routines, I would have to kill a bug that was just right next to me. And you're like, bloody hell, man. But that was where I cut my teeth, was in those garage videos that I did early in my channel days. And yeah, I always felt that I was on something. The one thing though that I didn't really like was the challenges. because a lot of time with the burpee community, they were coming up with different challenges and they would tell people to do them and that. And I was always like, I thought it took the fun out of the channel because it became more of a numbers game. And just because you're better at something doesn't mean you are X amount better than another person who does burpees. That doesn't mean anything at all. We're all on our different paths, but I always felt that when it came to that point, it just didn't become fun anymore. So, yeah, getting back, and what I'm good at, especially with my channel, is what I think, anyway, is creativity. And I just love being creative with a workout and seeing what my body can withstand. So I love that, and I pride myself in doing that for a lot of my routines. Obviously, I will go back to a lot of stuff. I don't like copy and pasting, uh, um, um, copy and pasting people's routines, but it's something that I prefer to do, which is calisthenics, plyometrics, that kind of thing, and just sticking with it. If you can add a little bit of a flavour with your burpees, all the more better. But yeah, right, Dean, are there any fitness channels you watch much at the moment? I follow a lot of some door. Yeah. That's when I got interviewed last year. They asked me who I cited for burpee channels, and he was one of the guys that I cited. It was some door guy. He hasn't uploaded anything for a long time now, I think. Um, but he was, and I said it in the podcast as well. I was like, I prefer watching him over Iron Wolf because it's just what you see is what you get in there, and it was straight to. I think he's Canadian as well, straight to the bone, straight in there. And then there was another guy that I used to watch, and he was My BS Life, and he was another Canadian, but this guy was an absolute maniac. He used to like do burpee routines on the side of the road where it's all like gravelly and muddy, and he did one right on a river bed where people were fly fishing, and he had to get to his location. He actually had to walk through the water, and he was like proper shoulder width high, and to get on a rock and just start doing a routine next to these people who were fly fishing. And you're like, this guy's a fucking maniac. But that was two people that I liked. So it was My BS Life and oh, is that true, Kane? Exercise is lame, blah blah blah. All right. Well, you can get lost if you don't like it. No one wanted you here in the first place, and I don't want you here, so you can get lost. I watched some Iron Wolf. Yeah, I used to. I used to watch a lot of Iron Wolf. Don't anymore. Burpees King, Moses. Yeah, they're like the three. Uh, they're like the three like big hitters of the, especially during the lockdown. Those people doing content was something else. Yeah, but I think a lot more people like to do the prison style work workouts and that. I'm not really into that. The rocking chairs and that. I prefer to just do a burpee. Um, but yeah, that's the way I take it anyway. Um, but still, it's with my army background. I think that's why I do things like that. It is the burpee trifecta. Who do you prefer, you Lucen? Do you prefer Burpees King Moses or Iron Wolf? All right. Yeah, Iron Wolf. Yeah, everyone likes to check in his stuff. It's almost like cathartic. It's when you watch something that, especially with him, like his videos going for X amount of time, and it's you just get into that. It's going to autopilot, and he just does the reps. So you can learn a lot from people like that, no matter what. But especially, I think the first video I watched of him was when he did the Navy SEAL 500, and yeah, that's something else. Doing 500 Navy SEALs is something else. I wouldn't recommend it because I think it would I'd injure myself. But uh, yeah, it's good that you love the army mentality. But yeah, like I said, um, that's why before when I started the channel, it was just to do different movements and just see where I was at and how I would look in front of the camera, because I never recorded myself before. But it's actually all right. I don't actually mind doing it. It's something that I've had to grow to get to this point where I'm doing a live stream. Is I would never have done this at the start of my channel, because it's taken to this point to get to that point, because I'm not 100% comfortable doing it. But I thought, you know what, just try and see where I'm going with this, and it was going to happen sooner or later. But you know what, it's the same with me doing a live stream with a workout. How would you feel about me doing that? Because it won't be that much good, but at least we're trying it. Try something different. Oh. Oh my God, you're not good at it either. Well, Miles, if you have an avatar, why don't you show us all how it's done? Do you have a channel, Miles? I bet you don't, do you? Do you have a channel? No, I bet you don't. If you get a couple more people, the Q&As get easier. Yeah, true. Aye, true. If there's 10, probably 10 or more people, and it can just, because I have to like riff with everybody right now, so that's something different for me. And I've done talks before, but not in this kind of magnitude where I can just see myself talking. It gets a lot easier, but you're totally right. With a couple more people, the Q&As get easier. So I'm definitely going to do live stream workouts and see where it takes it. But yeah, well, why not? You can do something different each time. But I'll leave up to you. Like I said earlier in the comments, fire up a question. Don't be like that Muppet. Well, you called me a Muppet, but Miles, because people like that, they screen themselves up so easily. They've probably got some kind of mental health disorder that cannot be cured, even with years and years of unhelpful therapy to them. And they're just absolute idiots. So thank you, Miles, for showing how much of an absolute twat you are. Actually, you know what, Yulson? I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Trolls, fantastic. I used to get when I used to do the 500. When the first time I did the 500s, 6-count burpees, the amount of hatred just for doing it was unbelievable. And it was from, nobody had an avatar, but it was eye-opening. I've never seen that amount of just idiots before, ever, saying you're not doing this right, that rep wasn't correct, and you're like, you haven't even got a channel. Who are you talking to? Yeah, probably some kid, or either that or some man with learning disabilities. Is Lee still taking credit for the discovery of your channel? I think he was taking the credit for, I don't remember him saying that, but I think he, obviously with Lee, he tried to promote my earlier stuff, and it was great that he was like that, because it felt like it was something we could all do together. And I always, when I spoke to Lee, it was always like I wanted to see if we could promote more Scottish people to do channels, and it's never really caught on. I've not really seen any other Scottish people doing it. So I was quite disappointed in that. But if anybody else knows any Scottish burpee channels that are out there, yeah, please send a link or something, or tell me who they are, because I don't know any of them. I haven't seen any of them. But yeah, I think he tried to take credit from my burpee, because because I originally named it James Burpee, and then he wanted to call it the Bruce Burpee, but then I wanted to call it the James Bruce Burpee. So yeah, probably is Nicole. But you know what? It's great just having these people on, because I want to go head to head with them, especially if they have no avatar. Probably just wanking off in their fucking parents' basement. I love Lee's podcast for sure. Yeah, they were great. It's just a shame that he doesn't do them anymore. So yeah, definitely. They were great podcasts. Absolutely fantastic. And it was great when they were doing their catch-ups together. I don't know what's happened to them now because I don't think they collab anymore. But yeah, when they do their little catch ups together, that was great. I used to love seeing that. It was always like, because there was a bit of like a yin and a yang. What he said this, and then they were riffing on it with each other, and they would just make jokes and that. And it felt very natural. So I always like that. But yeah, fire away with the questions. Keep going. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is, hold on here. I'm actually going to come back. If you can, while I'm away, I'm going to be away for 2 minutes. While you're away, if you want to put a question in the comment section, please do. But yeah, I will be back in 2 minutes. Right, but just hold on now. Do I do bar work? No, I used to. But it's something I don't really prefer to do. It's just body weight stuff. I thought, right, I'm going to stay for the next 10 minutes because my initial thought was to do an hour and just say I didn't even think I was going to make an hour, but this is actually pretty fun. Yes, cheers, Eric. Just check and say hi. If you want to ask me a question, I'm going to be here for another 10 minutes. Ask me something, right? But I've tried to explain why I started the channel and where I see my channel progressing. But yeah, fire away with a question. Thank you for checking in, Eric. This is all new to me. You know, it's great that's actual people. People came in. You know. So is there any challenges that anybody would like me to do? Anything in a future video, or you know, what's on your minds? What, and like I said before, what's everybody drinking tonight? Yeah, I've just got Scotch whiskey, so yeah, if anybody's drinking anything else, don't say water, because somebody said that before and I thought they were going to say that. Yes, on this Sunday evening. My first live stream, so no thrills, just in the bedroom, just set up here. You know, what's everyone done for their workouts today? Has anybody done a hard workout today? Has anybody done anything different? You know, really. I didn't need to know the other part, but drinking orange juice is absolutely fine. As long as it's pharmaceutical drugs, but even them, I don't take at all. I wouldn't take. But like I said before, what I was doing with, especially with my channel right now, is I'm focusing on my actual burpee and seeing where I can take it. The last couple of workouts that I've done, actual workouts that I've done have just included the James Bruce burpee. So I try pretty much to just build on that, to be honest with you. Right now, it's just being as creative as possible. And if you can be as creative as possible, to me, that leads to better ideas to do different workouts. And I think that's something that it's something that my channel can grow upon. And even with my tiny amount of subs that I have, it's something that I'm very proud of, especially right now. Yeah, so I'm going to keep working with things with the James Bruce burpee, and I might make different style of workouts, but especially with the space right now to do things, and it's where my camera can get set up because I will get better equipment to do things, but right now, especially with financially and things like that, just sticking to because normally before it's just sticking to the actual phone to make content, and it's a no frills. Just get the workout done and see where you can take it from there. I'm working on the James Bruce burpee without face planting. Do you have a channel, Wilson? I know you said you support my channel pretty silently in the background. Not yet. Well, work on it. You know what? Anybody, and this goes to people like Justin Lieberman. I don't know if any of you watch him, but for ages I was constantly telling him, make a channel with you, just make a channel, because he would constantly comment on my stuff, and I'd be like, you keep commenting, and he would tell me he would do workouts, but he'd never record it, and I'd be like, you know what? Put a channel out there, see what you can do. I love anybody starting a channel because I will support anybody, as long as they're sincere, I'd support anybody. If I have something to put up that won't put me into shame, don't say it about yourself. Be positive. Yeah, but just work on it. That's all you can do is put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. But like I said, I would prefer it. I want to be the best in Scotland at doing burpees. You know. Yep, Eric, starting a channel was one of the best things I've done recently. Yep, that's great. Yeah, continue to check out your stuff. Yeah, just get yourself out there. It's bloody hard. It's brutal at times, but you know what? What's the worst that can happen? You delete your channel. Who gives a? Who cares? I watch mainly to get motivation, which is achievable for some. Yeah, watch what you can. Stick to what's your main fitness goals, and then stick to it. You know what you want, whether it's to gain muscle, lose a bit of fat, whether that's to get more better with fatigue resistance, whether it's endurance, if you're a runner or something like that, whether you want to get more muscle mass, especially if you want to get bigger shoulders, or if you want a six pack. Everybody's got something that they want to achieve in life, and life should be a never-ending journey. You never reach the end. You keep moving from one goal to the next goal. That's the way it should be. That's the way I see it. Yeah, and sometimes, you know what, that might take you away from doing your own content if you're a content creator, but that is something that only you can know yourself. And if you can achieve that, even to the smallest extent, you are on the right path. And it's not, and this is something I've wanted to say to people. It's not about how you do it when you're feeling good that counts. It's when you're feeling shit, you can't get stuff done, things aren't working right, and you problem solve, you manage what's going on without becoming an absolute balling mess. Because, like for me, I don't know for anybody else, but when I was younger, I was really sensitive about stuff. I would really get hung up on anything that was said to me, and I had to work on it. And it took a lot of years, a lot of life experience to kind of get to a point where I'm like, you become a lot more stoic. You see something happening and you make your own judgment rather than just listen to the mob around you, make their own assumptions about things. How's it going, Simo? I see you. Didn't see Black Hat. All right, okay. And The Rock, was it good? Hopefully it was good. I know Tia here, she absolutely loves The Rock. Same with Nicole. Like I was saying to you, It's not. It's not how you deal with the good times, because you're going to have good times, but that doesn't test your character. It's the bad times you have in life, and it's even if you're a content creator or in general at your work, it's how you deal with those moments and how you get up and go. I said this in a previous podcast before as well. It's something as simple as getting out of your bed, brushing your teeth, starting the day, opening the curtains and being there. It doesn't matter if you can't find it hard to step outside the front door throughout the day, or you've got anxiety or something else is going on in your intermediate life. Just get out there and do something. And if you've got enough balls to start your own channel, make one video and have one person view it and like it. Absolutely fantastic. And that's where I first came from. I was like, I don't think anybody's gonna like to watch any of my stuff. I'm just some idiot, But I thrive off wanting to give other people an opportunity. And if I can start something and people look at it and go, you know what, I want to start something too, absolutely fantastic. My goal has been achieved. And I love it for the fact that can happen. And people tell me that, and it's great. I absolutely love it. And the things, and to say that, yeah, Eric, say you love what you do, the money will come. I'm going off on a tangent. It's not a motivational advice, but do what you need to do, or do what you love, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's outside of work, whatever, the money will come. Everything will come, and all the stars will be aligned properly eventually. You might be having a rough time right now, but it will come. Okay, just stick to it, and it can go. Why I'm saying this is this goes with your fitness. Stick to it. You might have a week of doing workouts where you're like, this feels great, and then the next day you're doing something and it just all tumbles down the table just because you walk outside, you go to the gym, and you're like, I don't look like that person. I'm supposed to feel like this now, but I don't. No, your life is one never-ending journey, and you have to keep pressing on, because only you can press on to it. I'm sick of people being just sidelined and thinking that they're worthless when they're not. They should be out there getting it done. I love the fact that I've got a small amount of subscribers, and the subscribers that I have, I can tell a lot of them are humble people, want to get out there, probably don't want, and I tell a lot of people who start their own channels that probably don't want to record themselves and that, and just get about their day being humble, getting to work, sticking with their nutrition. You don't have to be a mad scientist to get this all worked out. As you eat, you grow. This is how we all move. This is how we get on with life. You make it as it is, and if you stay positive, or at least if you've got that forward-thinking mind state, you will get there eventually. Yeah, same with me, Yolson. I had horrific anxiety before, because I said this in the podcast I did with Lee and Joe. Like, my background when I was younger, I got admitted to hospital with anorexia, and this was when I just reached 21 years old. It was horrendous. It was absolutely awful, and I was probably the lowest point of my life at that point, was that, because I didn't have anybody around me. There was no network. I'd lost everyone, and I had to build myself back up from then. And I have. It took a lot of years to get to that point, but I did, and I wouldn't be here talking to you now unless I got to that point. Because when I got to hospital, I remember getting weighed, and I was 6 stone on the dot, 6 stone, nothing, 6 stone on the dot, and I couldn't climb a flight of stairs. I couldn't hold a kettle that was full of water. When I say climb the stairs, I had to crawl up a staircase, because any slight incline, my body wouldn't make it at all. I was an absolute mess. And yeah, and you don't see many guys like that, but I had to get past that point in my life and realize, why do I want to do things in life? Where am I going with life? What do I want with life? And you have to ask yourself these questions. What is your purpose? What are you going to do? And too many people are so just letting things slide. And I'll just follow this because this is how everybody else is supposed to think. No, you've got your own mindset. You think of the great leaders, people, philosophers, anybody that would great literature, especially in the past. People like Aristotle, Plato, you know, you've got great authors. You know, you have Dickens. You know, any of these people, they got to that point by not listening to others. They got there by themselves, thinking for themselves. Yeah, they might not be the best person socially, or they didn't have everything on the dot. They might have been a bit off with certain things, but they had a mission and they achieved it. You know, a big an author that I used to really like to read when I was younger was Charles Bukowski, and his stuff resonated with me so much because it was like listening to somebody across a table just talk to you, mano a mano, just talk to you. And you know what? And he was a drunk, but he made so much sense, and he traded in his health, he traded in his personal life to be an author, to print out his own work to get to that point. And I'm sure, like, especially with somebody like an author that I liked, you should check him out, by the way, Charles Bukowski, Bukowski. I'm sure he had, even in the 60s when he was around, so much people hated his work, but his work to me, and you should check out, like, the first book I read was Post Office, and what a book that was. It was funny and depressing at the same time, and you're like, this is like life. You know, I would rather read this than watch some choreographed stuff on telly that you're not going to learn anything from. That it's just from people minding their P's and Q's. This was actually somebody in the 60s who wasn't liked, was horrifically abused in his early life, and he got somewhere in his life, you know. And I people like that I idolize, rather than somebody who just looks good because they've got muscles. That's people who I actually idolize. They're people who got there, had a focus. It doesn't matter if they wanted to be the best plumber in the world. It doesn't matter if they wanted to be the best author. They were great at their journey, their path, and they followed it all the way to the end. And I fully respect people like Charles Bukowski, Aristotle, Plato, Dickens, things like that. Yeah. I mean, even something like a contemporary author, because I don't really like a lot of contemporary authors, but a Japanese author called Haruki Murakami. And I used to read a lot of his works as well, ultra realistic. And then, but you have these psychedelic novels that were just great, absolutely fantastic. And yeah, a big love for me, especially back in those hard times in my early years, was just reading novels and find out that it doesn't matter where you're at in life, what year it is, how many hundred years ago, people wrote great stuff. You know, another person that I used to love reading really in depth was Fyodor Dostoevsky, and his works, everyone knows it, Crime and Punishment, The Idiot, absolutely fantastic, ultra realistic. A lot of things, like his style was copied so much after that, and I used to love, like, especially books like The Idiot. I loved it. The things like certain music and certain authors, they helped me grow. They were like my family, you know. They helped me grow with it in a written style, and yeah, I still think about those moments, and I'm thankful that I read, and their literature is out there. So that was a big influence for me, especially to do something like, as corny as it sounds, is just to do a channel. So yeah, Charles Bukowski definitely helped me to get myself out there. And even though, like him, he would have been flushed from his withdrawals with alcohol and that, but he got himself out there and did like poetry reading in theaters and things like that at the time, and it wasn't really big, especially in America. But his own poetry, because he wasn't part of the culture at that time, especially you had like Kerouac, Ginsberg, anything like that. He did his own stuff. He didn't have an entourage around him. He just made his own stuff, apart from the women that he would screw. But yeah, Bukowski was a great love of mine. Yeah, indeed. So it's good you're a fan, Eric. Yeah, he did. He didn't make it big until his 50s. Philip K. Dick, yeah, I've checked. I've got one of his books. I just haven't read it yet. But a couple of his books were made into films, weren't they? But anyway, right, listen, I've 1 hour 35 minutes. I think it's long enough for now. If you want to see another live stream, it's been great. You know what? It was a little bit touchy for the first 45 minutes, I think, but I really enjoyed the last 15 minutes of this live stream. I feel like I've just been honed in to talk about what I want to talk about, and that's dedication, focus, goal achievement, inspirations. And I think that is something we can touch up on next time. So yeah, it's been fantastic, everyone coming along, and yeah, it's great to hear everybody's viewpoints and things. I'll definitely watch this back and see how I'm landing with things, and sometimes I go off on a tangent, but it's rough, but I've tried it once anyway. But thank you for watching. I'm going to sign off now, but until next time, please hit a like, hit a subscribe if you haven't. It's fantastic when anybody comes in to check out my stuff. But yeah, it's great. Until everybody, you all son, Eric, everybody else that's tuned in tonight, yeah, fantastic. Thank you for being here. But until next time, take care.